Howdy guys, just realised nobody can hear me. One sec. It's quite typical now of these streams. This time it's because my audio was on mute. Hey, we'll get better at live streaming at some point. So guys, this is another live stream. I'm kind of getting the hang of these now, and the reason I've done one today is to respond to a drama which I seem to have created. Now, those of you who know me and know the channel probably know my intent and the reason why I run this, and hell, look, for anyone who's new, let me 2 times voiceover, damn it, okay? Testing. Audio input capture is on. Okay, is that better, guys? Crazy Dalek voice stuff. I don't know how audio input capture was turned on, but yeah, shouldn't be any echo. Is it still echoing? Better. And is the balance of background music and vocal good? There we go, that's better. I can turn the background music down if you need me to. I was using some like Final Fantasy lo-fi remix beats before, but they keep getting like not takedown notices, but subscription notices to say that I am using copyrighted material, so I'm having to share any money I make off ads in these live streams. Not that you should be getting ads in a live stream anyway, but whatever. So I've swapped it to some licensed music, or music I have the license to use through Epidemic Sound, and I wanted like a nice chill out lo-fi beats thing, but please do. Oh, sorry, Kaylee. No, I know. Sorry, I just realised that's there. Let's go back to the beginning and start here. I'll explain what that's about. I totally understand. In fact, if anything, Kaylee, I want to say thank you for, well, I wouldn't say you are having my back. I would say that you, like me, Kaylee, are, okay, this is the situation. Obviously a lot of people have jumped on it that I was rage baiting. If anyone's seen the thumbnail of this video, then you'll very much understand what the topic of this video is about. So yeah, let me know about the background audio, guys. I was going for something like lo-fi chill beats, but I think I've got like 80s porno, which I wasn't going for. But hey, you can also see that you can actually see me moving in normal time today, which is a little bit weird. And the reason why this is backwards is because it's covering something that I mentioned yesterday on the channel, which I can't actually show yet, but I will go through and have a video out about that as soon as I can. That's all I can say about it is I can show you the box and tell you that Bamboo have the A1 coming. So the reason why it sounds like elevator music. So I'm going to be a little bit more interactive today than I was yesterday, but I am just going to stick on for probably an hour at the most. So yesterday's video, I didn't really mean to make a drama. I seem to have made a drama. Was it yesterday? Or was it the day before? Anyway, it was a couple of days ago, Wednesday, wasn't it? So I seem to have made a drama, and I say I didn't mean to make a drama, but yes, the thumbnail was, oh my God, the sky is falling, big red flags, look at me, look at me, look at me. Look, yeah, you're right, I'm a YouTuber, I do clickbait thumbnails, I hate it, I want you to know I hate myself for doing it, but I spent 2 years on YouTube getting nowhere, not doing clickbait thumbnails, and I had really positive feedback about my videos, which I get now, but nobody watched them, like 200, 300 views, and there we go. Killshig, welcome back. I will not forget you anytime soon, sir. How are you doing? How are you well? So yeah. So please cut music as the bass is really heavy. Let me just turn it down. I need something in the background. So there you go. You should hardly hear it. I need something in the background just to cover the dead air. But I've turned it down. So right, look. A lot of people have kind of jumped on my comments about the UltraPrint and what's going off as really, really warning people don't buy that printer. And I want to reiterate it because unlike my YouTube videos where I go, this is blah, 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 and I sit and I write a script and then I rewrite a script and then I look at it and go, gotta get that. And then I send it to my editor and my editor does it and it's like, I haven't really got footage for this bit. And I'm like, actually, I'm just waffling anyway. Let's cut that bit, which I've done today on the Jupiter SE video. I'm just waffling on and on about the resin pump and the fact that I hate them. And it's like, everyone's got the point, move on. So for those people who do complain about my videos and say, just get to the point, trust me, you've got the condensed version. So yeah, but the point of the UltraPrint is not run away from this. Oh, it's bad, the sky is falling, it's terrible. It's just be careful. Like, I've read a bit more about these guys today, and they claim to be an OEM, which potentially explains how they're using identical VATs and other components like the actual build plate, which is used in the Saturn III Ultra. So that potentially explains some of that. And yes, once again, my thumbnail today is clickbaity, and I've taken one of the comments from the Facebook group, and I've blurred out the name because it is a private group, and I won't be showing you that group. I'll be talking about that group, but I won't be showing it on screen because that is a private group, which, you know, just I don't know if there are any laws around the sharing of a private Facebook group. I don't know, but I'm not going to risk it. And just out of respect for the people who are in it, who have joined a private group, I'm not going to be bringing that private group up on the screen, but I will be talking about some of the content in it. One of the comments which actually made the YouTube thumbnail for this. So the thumbnail today is, I've said that UltraPrint have responded. Now, I don't know if this is a response. Yeah, okay. YouTuber, I've used it as clickbait. If you're unhappy with that, I'd want to know if this is your first day on the internet, because yeah, it happens. I'm sorry, it is there. So yeah, it's more of a let's just have a look. Sergeant House has said it. It's more of a buyer beware than stay away, and it is. What I'm saying to do, what all I'm telling people to do is don't immediately watch any of my videos and run out and cancel your pledge. Just like any of my reviews. Don't just watch any of my reviews and then go, oh, that's the printer for me. Watch 2 or 3 reviews at the very least. I always like to get 3 opinions and that sort of thing. But my problem with UltraPrint, and I do have a problem with UltraPrint, and today's example, which yes, it's clickbaity, but it's not wrong, is the way they go about everything. So a few people kind of misunderstood my last rant as, my last informative video. A few people kind of misunderstood that as somebody contacted me and blah, blah, it was a breakdown in communication, and because of that I had an issue. No, it really wasn't. Like, this isn't my first rodeo, guys. Trust me. My biggest the printer I'm known for, which is the GK2, which is my biggest review video ever, I believe, up to this point, except for weirdly some FDM ones, even though that's not my wheelhouse. They've skyrocketed up. I'm guessing FDM's more popular. But you all know my area of love is in resin. So you know what, I completely forgot my point. So yeah, so the area I love is resin, and looking at UltraPrint, I'm kind of like, I just don't like the approach. But it's not about how they contacted me at all and a breakdown in communication. They aren't the only people whose English is their second language, and even then I wouldn't say it's a second language. And even Uniformation, you know, they were really great at first. And I just want to say that dealing with their current contact, who goes by Crush, and Crush, I love you if you're watching this. I doubt you're watching this, but if you are, I love you. But her English is terrible. Half the time, and I mean half the time, I'm having to decipher it and go back and go, what do you mean? I don't, or just say I don't understand, and then I normally go to her boss and go, right, what's going off here? What's happening? What are you doing? But again, I managed to make it work, and I understand to a degree that there is a communication breakdown, or there are communication issues between English speakers and people who work for primarily Chinese companies. It's probably one of the biggest problems they have, is not just the language but also the culture. Some of the things over there, I mean, Creality is a good example. You know, look at Creality's Creality Cloud, and it's just like AliExpress, which is a very different way of presenting website information. And it's that FOMO push, and it's all that, and it's offer, blah, blah, blah. And it's almost like, you know, when you see the Neo Future walking through Tokyo with spectacles on, you're getting ads beamed into your eyes. And we don't accept that in Western cultures. We don't like that, and we shun it and shy away from it and that sort of thing. So yes, there was initially the message that they sent me, which people are saying is a misunderstanding. But the bit I regret is that I didn't save a copy of the video that I had. The video doesn't seem to have changed, not from what I remember. But the video I showed on the last stream is not the video that I originally saw. And you can tell that the way they communicated this printer to me, and they're trying to say, it's a 12K printer, 16 inch, was intentional. It really was, guys. It wasn't a miscommunication. It was an intentional, hey, this is a, you know, trying to dissuade someone to believe that there is a 16-inch 12K printer when there isn't. Even now, like, you know, other than a few non-working prototypes you can see in photos, I am still yet to see a working UltraPrint Pro, which doesn't seem to exist. But there. Right, let me just go back through the comments. I'll move on to the next bit. Sergeant House said more of a buyer beware. Yeah, exactly. Kaylee says, I really just wish they'd answer questions with actual answers rather than vague answers and regurgitating the same answers. Exactly, Kaylee, and that's the bit I want to come on to. That's the bit that concerns me, and I've got a point to make on that, so I'll come back to it. Blake, don't worry, I had faith in you and just picked up the Saturn 3 Ultra because you said it was good, and it is good. The Saturn 3 Ultra is a great printer. I'm sure the UltraPrint is a great printer. Not the Pro, I don't know about the Pro, but the UltraPrint will be a great printer because it looks like it's a Saturn 3 Ultra in every way, shape or form, with some other bits tacked on. Let's have a look. Overboard says, I currently own a Bamboo Lab X1 Carbon and an ePax X10 10.1 inch 8K and an eMate Galaxy One 17 inch. Have you got enough printers there, Overboard? Blooming heck. I did want to play with the Galaxy One, I really did, but I didn't get a chance to get hands on with that one, and they never responded to me either. But weird, isn't it? Like, I've reached out to Galaxy and asked them, hey, do you want to send me a printer? Can I review it? So anyone who's thinking, oh, I'm just sad or negging on UltraPrint because they didn't send me one, there are numerous companies out there who haven't sent me one and haven't responded to me. And I'm not negging on them. I'm not having a go about them, and I'm not making this sort of content about them. This is an UltraPrint point I want to make. Kaylee, once again, overall, I think the 12K one is pretty much the Saturn 3 Ultra, and the Pro is effectively a clone of the Apex Maker, minus the lovely heated back. Yeah, that sounds exactly that. And that's something I don't support. Like, I get offers, especially in FDM, I get offers all the time for, hey, do you want to review this printer? And I'm like, no, because it's just, it may or may not be a clone, but why would anybody buy your unknown branded printer, which generally costs more for the same spec as an Elegoo or an Anycubic bog standard starter? But the benefit of Elegoo of Anycubic is, even though they may not be better hardware wise, you've got that bigger community behind them that is going to be more valuable to you than the slightly better hardware maybe, because when you have issues with your entry level printer, you're going to want support, so a bigger community will help. Let's have a quick look down. Overall, yeah, Wilderness Outside says, do I think the way they go on about things due to a language barrier, as most of these printers are made in China? Yes and no. Yes and no. Troy Telford, I mean, you weren't glowing on the Mars 4 DLP, didn't hate on it, but didn't love it. I bought it, I love it. Not at all sorry for the purchase. Thank you, Troy, and I appreciate that because, yeah, I'm not overly wow about the Mars 4 DLP. I think the Mars 4 DLP is fine, but it's one of them where if you really want DLP, you'll know why you want DLP. It's got its use cases. They're easier to dial in. They generally last longer. And overall, I found them easier to work with. But when you consider the price of it, you can get a Saturn 2 or even a Saturn 3. My choice would be the Saturn 3. That's it. That doesn't mean it has to be your choice. By all means, my channel is all about get the printer that's right for you. So if you've got the right printer for you, great. That's fantastic. I don't love the Mars 4 DLP. I don't hate it either. In fact, you know what? Like, for anyone who's here, here's my review of the Jupiter SE. It's fine. It's an Elegoo printer. If you want a big printer, this one does the job. It's not wow, it's not amazing, oh my god, the next thing. I'm not blown away by it. But if you want a printer to print big things, it's got a big plate and it works. I've not had a single problem with it. And if you look at my social post of what I've been printing on it, oh my god, that is the best print ever. Black Forge Games' latest one. So yeah. There we go. Sergeant House loves the GK2. Nice. Kaylee says, I know I said that it may be a misunderstanding about who did contact you due to Jerry saying that he was dealing with a third-party contact initially. Yeah, I think I remember reading that. Sorry, Kaylee. I've been jumping between the private Facebook group, which I recommend everyone just go and have a look at. If you are backing this and you aren't a member of the UltraPrint official launch group, there's only 2,500 members in there. But yeah, I do recommend that you go and join that group because that seems to be the only place you actually get updates for this. But saying that, 2,500 people in that group with 477 backers, that's not bad. But yeah, so no, right. So when Jerry said it was a third party that contacted him, this is what normally happens, Kaylee. It's not uncommon. So you will get somebody, it might be a marketing agency, it might be, sometimes these Chinese companies contact a third party. So I was with a company called Z Banks for a while, but they just kept sending me crap and then emailing me like every other day, how's it going? And I'm like, well, I told you in my last update, I won't have you any update for a week, and it was annoying me and I felt pressured and I was like, no, I don't want this. So I kind of ghosted them. Bit rude, but I was just sick of it. So yeah, that's what happens. And then you get in touch with the company and do that. So the way they approached me and the way they approached him was no different. And back at the time I was speaking to Jerry and I said, look, this is the email I've had. Because the email, after I initially read it and responded, I went back to it a few days later thinking I've not had a response, looked at it, was marked as, this email has been used as phishing. And I went to Jerry and I went, whoa, hang on, who emailed you? And he went, no, that is who emailed me. That's how it looked, and that's the exact same thing. So fair enough. And they did it before anything about the UltraPrint was online. So in order for that to be dodgy and a third party, somebody would have had inside knowledge of the UltraPrint. So I don't think it was anything to do with that. But the issue is not lack of communication. That's stuff that's been carried over. Let's have a look. I know Killshade, tell me about language barrier. I had to have a Rosetta Stone out with me when I had an email chain with Elegoo over a dud screen. Yeah, exactly. It's that sort of thing. Lots from Kaylee. The language of up to for the resolution and build size was definitely a mistake. Well, they've continued with that mistake, Kaylee, throughout. So I'll likely grab a Saturn 3 Ultra later on to replace my Mighty 4K, but I do want big build volume. I wanted a big build volume for my FDM, so I built one. Nice. Kaylee, 99% of the printers until recently were Ender 3 and Prusa clones, agreed, which is why I've not been interested in FDM at all. If I had experience with resin printing that I had with FDM, I'd likely go building my own soon. And Diamond Dogs Racing, great name, and never be game over, Diamond Dogs. Is that Mind of Tenjin released? It's not released, no, it's part of their Kickstarter backer things. So yeah. Kaylee says, I'm in the private group too. Yeah, I did see that, Kaylee. I saw your post. I had to snicker when you saw it. Some people seemed none the wiser that you jumped in. Yeah, I don't I don't want to. So I am in that private group. I have asked questions. I haven't. I've looked at people's comments. Some people have been somewhat negative towards me. One person in particular got his post up on my thumbnail for this video. But I didn't want to I didn't want to start stirring the waters and turning it into a but actually everyone's entitled to their opinion. But his what's the word? I think I made a comment the other day. No, I've made it in an upcoming review about elitism and printers, where someone's elitist on something. And he seems very much an UltraPrint elitist, and nothing anybody says is going to convince that guy that the UltraPrint isn't, the next best thing. It's almost the second coming. So, yes, again, that's hyperbole. God damn it, you don't have to take everything you hear. And I'm assuming this guy's going to watch it, but he shares the same name as me. But anyway, the point is, again, you use hyperbole on the internet. You don't have to, just because I've said, oh, you think it's the second coming, doesn't mean I'm actually saying that you truly believe that. Some people can't even have a conversation nowadays without it being taken so literally. But yeah, overboard, I saw this UltraPrint printer ads as well. I watched their video, saw that the Cure machine was built into the printer and thought, what? Plus, I have enough printers anyway. Yeah, exactly. Troy says, having worked professionally with Chinese engineers, I can say culture and language barriers are real. Yeah, they are. I've also worked with Chinese companies professionally. It's huge. It is huge, which is why I do have a respect for it when communicating with them. What I don't have a respect for is the marketing. Now, if the people who do have this language barrier do have such a language barrier that they can't communicate in an email well, then you kind of need to really read between the lines when it comes to this marketing that they put out in English that's translated to English, and we'll get onto that in a sec. Kilshu says, I've got an eye for the Mega 8KS. Everyone's raving about it. I love the Mega 8KS, love it. In fact, the Mind of Tenjin was meant to be printed on the Mega 8KS. Two reasons. One, because it's a gorgeous model. Two, because I really wanted to show off that printer, to show just how great it is. Frozen are the quality brand, and they show it with this printer. Seems a bit cheap in a couple of areas, lacking some features, but it is good. So there we go. When my Galaxy One arrived, okay, I need to think it is. Fohammer, you got to stop explaining sarcasm and hyperbole to people and not worth the effort. I think they just take offense to it because they want to, because they actually did, brother. Yeah, you know what? You're right. I do need to apologize. The thing is, look, right, 8 months ago, I wasn't a YouTuber. I wasn't somebody whose opinion can have such a sway over the internet, and I was never trying to be that. Even now, I'll stand by it. I put my reviews out there, my experience, but everybody, when you're buying something this expensive, 3 reviews minimum. You need to watch 3. And I know I'm guilty of it as well. I'm doing it at the moment. I don't know, because I want to get a new camera and just have some more. It's one of my other hobbies is videography now, and I don't know whether to get the C70 or a used a Canon C70 or a C200, and then maybe I want an R5C. And these are very expensive cameras, and I don't know which way to go. And I'm watching reviews, comparisons, I'm watching loads of them. So yeah, I recommend that. So Mark, I did break Uniformation GK2 orders. So right, let me get back to it. I'm just going to ignore, sorry guys, I'm going to ignore the comments for a little bit, and I'll come back to it shortly. So the reason for this video, as I said, is kind of, I don't want to be accused of going back on my word. Look, I stand by that. I think the UltraPrint system is full of red flags. Now, I am less of a believer that this is a scam, but let's look at it. So obviously I put out a video the other day which was very, hey, look, I'm not too keen on this. I don't like their approach, and I don't like, the main thing, it isn't about how they communicated to me. I don't like how they're communicating to their community and what they're saying. It's a bunch of misleading, crazy rubbish. So, and then It's also the features that they claim to have are absolute BS. Now, some of this, if you want to excuse it as a language barrier, by all means, excuse it as a language barrier. If you want to believe in them, good, believe in them. And I do hope that you end up with a printer that is right for you. I hope you end up with a printer that is great. All I want to do is I kind of want to make sure people know what they're buying. And I think people who are buying want to know what they're getting. And whether the following is a response to my video or something they had planned, I don't know. So let's look at this both ways. So this is new from my video the other day. They hadn't got this up. And if we look at in fact, it's not in the updates. Let's just jump off that 1 second. So they're offering a 60-day trial for all backers. And this has been echoed in their Facebook group. But here you go, right? Any campaign would put their updates on the updates page. Not UltraPrint, no. Again, maybe they don't know. This is, by the way, their second Kickstarter, at the very least. It's their second after they released a very unsuccessful, apparently, curing station. Something else I saw in the comments. So instead of putting updates in the updates, like update 44, which was back on at the end of November and then up there, they put their updates in comments. And what they do is they create a comment and then pin the comment. And then, oh, look, I've been mentioned. And then they pin the comment. So anybody else's comments seem to just disappear in the swath of, there we go, Brian Holt. So the last comment a day ago by Brian Holt has basically said the following dangerous information forced me to withdraw. And he's putting red flags up as well. But I think that's a follow-up because he does mention my video. I'm saying I'm just assuming, please don't, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, like everybody's kicking off about using the comment section for comments. Look, UltraPrint, if you want to succeed, if you want a printer that people believe in, instead of giving promises, let me go back to the campaign, instead of giving promises like this, now whether this is true or a false promise, we'll get onto that in a sec, I don't know, but instead of making promises like this, just be clear. Just be clear with your community. Because the way you're doing it, by putting your comments in here and then pinning them, as other people have said, and I believe it's in Brian Holt's comments, as other people have said, it looks like you're intentionally hiding other people's comments by making sure yours are at the top, which is why people have started commenting on here. And also, the only way to really get updates about this printer, is in the private Facebook group, because they post it there, not here. Again, fine, it builds more of a community, but the skeptic in me says, well, they want more of the negative conversation in the Facebook page. And bear in mind, Facebook is I don't know how it works on Kickstarter, because I've never used the platform, but I have a group on Facebook. If someone's being a dick, I can delete them. Or if somebody says, and I've never done this, if somebody says something I don't like, I can delete them. But I can certainly see brands using that for their own benefit. And there are brands out there that have. It does my head in. I love Frozen, but I hate the fact that in Frozen's group, 3 comments and they close the comment section. Like, hang on, other people might have had something to say. Oh, it does my head in, and it's there. So sorry guys, I'm going to let's have a look. So yeah, you can't comment. Sorry Kayla, I did notice your comment. Yeah, so if I try and post something like this, hi everyone, and post it, there, it's pending. So you can't post anything unless they approve it, and I am going to delete that. Oh, you know what? I'm saying that to you. I'm doing it on my screen. You can't see it, and I shouldn't show you it because it's a private group. But the point is, can I show you it? And let me just make sure that I don't want you to see anybody who's in it before I share it. So, yes, right. So if I type a comment, hello world. Oh, God, those aren't words. Hello world, post. There you go. Your post is pending, awaiting admin approval if the admin team. So you can't even post in there unless you want to. But you can respond to other people's comments, which many have done. So there's one thing. Right, let me bring that back instead of you looking at my wallpaper. Sorry, I seem to have broken things now. So here we go. So yeah, so where they put the updates is insane. But they've promised this. They've promised, go back to it. They've promised a 60-day trial for all backers. But then it's not really explained what a 60-day trial is. So you go to the comments section, is it here? Yep, exclusive offer. So this is where they put their updates. Even though there's a section there for updates, exclusive offer for Kickstarter supporters, enjoy a 60-day free trial. Comprehensive free refund and replacement guarantee. Now again, free trial means, like if I bought a bed with a free trial, it means I can ring up after the term and go, you know what, I don't like this, take it back. And yeah, there might be a bit of an argument, but they'll take it back. But what are they saying here? Because if we look back at it, sorry, I'm having to bend my neck. Free refunds or replacements for product issues. Enjoy risk-free backing. So it's issues, and as some people have rightly commented, perhaps there's no comments under these. As some people have rightly commented, what is that? Is that a case of if the product doesn't live up to expectations, you'll refund me? Or is it, yeah, so let's keep reading. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to unwavering support. To express our appreciation, we're delighted to offer a complimentary 60-day trial to all backers. In the rare event of quality concerns with our printers, we assure you to a full refund or replacement within 60 days from the delivery date, calculated from the receipt date, entirely covered by us. Your trust and satisfaction remain our utmost priorities. Thank you again for being part of this journey. Right, so basically they're saying 60-day free trial, but you can only get your money back if there is a quality or hardware issue. And believe me, you're probably going to have to prove that to them, and they're going to have to agree that you've got a quality or hardware issue before you get it back. This isn't a 60-day trial where if you're unsatisfied with your purchase, as typically those of us in the Western world would expect, if we are unsatisfied with our purchase for any reason, blah, 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 refund, and they take it back, refurb it and resell it, whatever. Now, if this is a response to my video, I don't know. I've inferred that it is because it came out straight after, and it makes sense because people, I released a video that said, look, beware guys, be concerned with this. But what I'm saying is, all I was trying to say in that video is, look, these Raise Red, they're advertising. I'm already peed off enough when customers call printers 12, 14 and 16 or 18K, and that's rubbish. Like these new 14K printers that are still 12K, apart from the XI. Like, you, again, if you've watched my videos, you've heard it enough. So that does my head in. So for these guys to advertise automatic resin feeding, no, it isn't automated. Automated is when an action is performed as a reaction to another thing, such as when finished printing, pump out resin. It's not automated. It isn't automated. Okay, if in that by that logic, my car has an automated ignition when I get in the car, but all I have to do is press the button and then it's automated. I suppose to a degree it kind of is because there's several sequences that happen, but still, it's one function, pump in or out. It's not automated. Okay, I still don't like the. I'm glad it's clear to everyone who's bought the Pro or the Ultra that, you know, you're getting a 12K little one or you're getting an 8K big one. That's fine. And it's things like that. It's fine. But, and then the resin heater is a completely independent thing. So my issues are more that they're saying, they're using all these words and it's all BS. It's all absolute BS. And that's the annoyance of it. And then the second part of it is the features that they've got are all hobbled together within the chassis. And somebody described it to me, I don't know if they use this term, but if not, we're coining it now. It's a Franken printer, okay? It is different parts of different machines cobbled together, and it's so obvious. There's been no way of disguising it. Like the VAT and the build plates from a Saturn II, the heater is a completely separate module and it's on the back. Jerry raised concerns about how that mechanism works, and I've shared my views on how resin heaters are and aren't efficient in certain ways. But again, still having one is better than not. So let's do what I said I was going to do in the other video, and I never actually got round to it. Let's kind of be objective about this. So you may want a printer. Let's be fair, the GK2 needs a competitor. It really does need a competitor, because right now it is just the most incredible printer out there, but the price point is well out of budget for many people. 8K is fine. My 12K video is going to be out in a couple of days. Basically, you can't see a difference. I don't get why they've upgraded it to 12K when, well, actually the screen's smaller, so it's actually, to me, it's a downgrade. Whatever. But yeah, so you may want a 12K 10-inch printer. This is that. I don't know how it prints. Jerry says it's good. Like I've said, he's not the most experienced resin guy, but he knows what he's doing. Excuse me. There are some more tests we can do. But 12K has shown us different things. In the case of the Saturn, the Photon Mighty 8K to 12K upgrade, that's really sharp. The Saturn 3 is really sharp. The Saturn 3 Ultra is really sharp when you get rid of ACF. But the M5 and the M5S and the Uniformation 12K upgrade are 12K, but they're soft. They're actually softer in printing than 8K screens. So how this performs, I don't know. It may be just as good as a Saturn II. So that's a good thing. Yes, you do have these features built in, and at the price point, is it more acceptable that these are a bit more cobbled together than them all being integrated within the printer? I don't know. That's the point of a review, and I can't do a review. That's for you guys to decide. It's about what it's worth to you. The bit that worries me again here is they don't have any reviews out there. Looking back at what I said the other day, now somebody, so a couple of things have happened. One, off the back of my video, somebody emailed me, another creator, I'm not going to say who, and they said they were also talking to UltraPrint, I forget the name of the company, something weird, Blue, is it Blue? Summit Lab? I don't know. All goes by UltraPrint, but the UltraPrint's the printers, and I forget the name of the company. Anyway, oh, it's there, Juice Lab. Right on the screen that I'm sharing with everyone. So, yeah, so Juice Lab have done a couple of things, and basically they were talking to Juice Lab, and then as soon as that creator said, I don't charge for my videos, once again, zero communication, no follow-up, nothing like that, no follow-up at all, as soon as that other creator were thingy in. So, and I'm not going to put anyone on the spot, but I don't charge for my reviews, other creators do. I'm not saying that people are bought. What I'm saying is some people charge, and I prefer to earn on commission, as I say, just out of, it helps show my unbiasedness. And I am unbiased to this. I hope I'm wrong. I just wanted it to be clear that know what you're buying. Know that this isn't the thing they promise, not in the way they're saying it. It's not automated. These things aren't integrated. They're all separate. Make sure you understand that if you get in the Pro, it isn't a 12K, and you will get slightly worse print quality. Probably still good enough, you'll get that. But the way they've approached it, the way they don't communicate clearly to their community is not only another red flag, but it's worrying a lot of people out there. And then again, the other day, what else have we had? Yeah, so other people have said that they've had the same things, like not clear communication, they're not saying things, they're not being clear. Like when I commented in the group today to say, hang on a minute, so this refund you're offering, okay, I think let's be honest, let's assume it's not a risk-free trial, as it kind of infers. It's a if your product is faulty, you can send it back and get a refund. But what's weird, and you're gonna have to have that conversation with them. I'm sure they won't just go, yep, no worries, we've got that policy, send it back to us, because they're gonna have to pay for it to be shipped back to China unless they've got a local warehouse. But also, when they sell you a printer, they're pretty much on Kickstarter, they're selling you probably at cost, and whether they refund you or not, they've got to pay their fee to Kickstarter. So if you get it and you're not happy, then they've got to, then 5% of what you paid for it has already gone to Kickstarter. They're not getting that back. And I don't know, and I know lots of big companies, big Kickstarter companies who have never allowed a refund. I accidentally, on one Kickstarter, I didn't understand how the backer kit worked. I accidentally ordered a second kit and it came out of my account. I went, whoa, what happened? And they were like, oh, well, you shouldn't have chose that. I was like, well, it wasn't clear. It looked like I had to choose my reward because it didn't say I'd earned this reward. So I chose the thing that was on the thing and you billed me twice. And they're like, oh, I don't think we can refund you. So I ended up having to get 2 of them. And that was a big company, refused to do it. So the fact that these guys are promising it, but you can look at it a couple of ways. One is we can go, okay, they don't have to do this. So I suppose the gesture alone is good. But it's kind of like, are you really going to do that? Like, that's a big ask. But I suppose at the very least, again, this is where I'm going back and forth. At the very least, there are concerns of quality about this product and they've done something to address it. They've at least promised something to address it. So I suppose coming round, and I'll get to comments in a minute, I suppose coming full circle, my issue isn't just with the communication from them initially. My issue with them is how they've communicated throughout. Misleading statements here, misleading statements there. Poor communication with the community. The way they update things like the updates, instead of it being updates, it's in comments, hiding people's comments. The fact that they've turned off the ability for users to comment and ask questions in their launch group is all very just suspicious, and it's just crappy. So instead of doing all these they wouldn't have had to promise this 60-day free trial or anything like this if they'd just been clear with their backers. What are you getting? What's happening? And on that regard, the bit I can't show, I don't know if there's any updates in here. Are there any? Oh, okay, yeah. So the good thing that they are doing, so I do have to hand it to them, is they are, oh, maybe it's not that one, hang on. They are actually showing progress updates. And I know people aren't as keen on these as having actual independent reviews, but they are showing, and I quite like this, I find this interesting, they are showing the manufacturing process. The manufacturing process is happening, and they're actually going through and doing stuff. So, you know, this is the bit where I'm actually like, okay, I'm convinced this isn't a hoax. This is a real printer, it's a real product, or this is the most elaborate scam ever, which I don't think they'd go through for this thing. So, you know, I'm convinced it's a real printer at the very least, but I'm just peed off about the way they've approached it. So yeah, give us clarity. Give us clarity on this printer. That's what we want. That's what your community are asking for. And even a lot of them are going, please stop doing this. They promised reviews weeks ago. So far, the only review is Jerry's. And as Jerry posted on it, I mean, I'm sure I can show that. Let me see if I can at the very least show that situation. Jerry, I can see you in the comments. But I'm ignoring the comments for a minute. But I am still standing by your review. It was, I'm sure anybody here. So, oh wow, the comments are literally Kaylee and Jerry having a chat. So there we go. Right, let's have a look. The print house. You can't see me doing this. Community. Oh God, Jerry, you've got so many. Yeah. So, and this is it. So Jerry, I'm sorry to call you out, mate. Not call you out, but I'm sorry to make an example of you when you're there and talk about you in front of your face. But I think this is fair. So as Jerry put, this is scary for me to post, but I'm letting you in on a little behind the scenes of operating a YouTube channel. I currently have the UltraPrint 12K, and I'll be publishing my video on it very soon. As a viewer of my channel, and as any other YouTube channel on YouTube, please understand that some of us are good folks and don't lie about the products we review in order to gain free products and payment. Yeah, now I'm going to echo that. I don't need any more 3D printers. I'm actually now having to pay a monthly fee for a storage unit to store printers. Okay? I don't need them to store redundant printers. We don't need free printers anymore for any value to us. So yeah, I'm going to echo that, Jerry. Jerry says, I hate being the mean guy, but this was necessary. Here's the email I just had to send. At this point, I want to make it very clear that this is non-negotiable. The video, as you viewed, is incomplete, but it will not be refilmed and it will be published. The nature of not being fully completed is why I was reluctant to share it in the first place. I plan to add additional comments in the form of on-screen text to try and better convey certain messages so my viewers understand what I'm trying to say. All of that said, I'm sorry the client thinks the video is a negative representation of the printer. Oh, okay, so this is a little bit clear. So it sounds like the person who's been in contact with Jerry, and probably the person who contacted me, is the third-party marketing company on behalf of who was it again? Summit Lab of Juice Lab, on behalf of Juice Lab, and we'll go from there. So let's have a look. Negative representation of the printer. I genuinely like the machine, as we saw, Jerry. You did like it. I have a reputation to uphold to my viewers that I refuse to let go of. The moment I begin to lie to my viewers is the moment they lose trust in me and the brand dies. Yep. In relation to your 1 and 2 comments, I will investigate them further and it will be reflected in the video. As far as I was aware, the fee for the video was not to sponsor the video, rather to pay for my labor, material and editing costs. Fair enough. And yep. And again, guys, I don't know what Jerry was paid to make this video. I'm not going to ask Jerry what he was paid to make this video, nor should you. It's none of our business. Regardless of what the fee was there was never a mention that I was required to produce a purely positive and favourable video. If that was the case, I would have immediately declined the request to test the printer and reduce content. So it sounds like, and again, this is for you, Jerry, but it sounds like the email you got from the third party was very much a, hey, you're meant to be making a promotional video for us, and they hadn't communicated that clearly. I've produced, and then he goes on, I've produced negative content in the past, and my video about the UltraPrint 12K is not purely negative, and it's not. It really isn't. You're so happy in the beginning, like this has been the most frustrating printer. Yeah, guys, it's a ball ache to have to solder a printer when you need to. Here's an example of the negative video, and at the moment my relationship with Creality is as better as it's ever been. You know what? Creality is a great example. I absolutely ruined people's opinion of the Hallett Mage Pro, and I stand by that printer. I stand by that review, and I'm still working with Creality because they're big boys and they accept it and they go, yep, okay, fair enough, that's the feedback. And people have echoed that feedback. It wasn't my feedback, it was the community's feedback. I truly want to maintain a positive relationship with you and with the UltraPrint team despite this roadblock we've hit. But if you or they want to cease contact with the print house, then I completely understand. In the case of that contact is lost, I have additional information I would like to share. Due to my recent sickness and holiday travel, my schedule has been heavily backed up, but you can expect the video to be live, ideally no later than December the 5th or 6th. So fair enough. And yeah, I get it. When you're sick, doing a video, and yeah, so that's it. Right, yeah, you're right, Jerry, we both did have bad reviews on that. In fact, I think I used some of your footage. That's when we first started talking, because I asked you if I could nick some footage, because your reaction was brilliant. So yeah, so that's the position Jerry was in, and he's released a video which was fine. It wasn't negging on the printer. It was just saying things like, oh, this heater, well, it's actually nothing to do with the printer itself. It's a separate element, but you've got to control it from the back. And that makes me scratch my head. Does it not make you scratch your head? So it's things like that. And people have been so eager for these reviews, and UltraPrint keep going, oh yeah, they're coming. And if you look in the comments, you can see people. And the good thing is this is public. I can share this. It's unlike the private group. So let's have a look. As a backer, the Pro, this is great news on packaging. In fact, which one was let's look at the recent one. And again, I'm not trying to hide anything there, guys. You can go and look at this yourself. Notice the UltraPrint team is active with backers. It is decent to see some level of engagement, makes the product seem more reliable. That's true. Completely agree. I have seen things like, if you have a look at the Apex Maker X1, that review, that Kickstarter campaign was absolutely shocking in regard to their communication. And I don't, even with me, I was in a WhatsApp group with them, and it would take them nearly a week to reply sometimes to questions like, hey, are you going to be able to send me a replacement broken bottom? And it took me 7 weeks to get an answer to that. And yeah, so, but they are active in the community, and that is good. They are answering people, and it's the same on the Facebook group. Are they being a bit selective about what they answer? Possibly. Are they maybe a small company who are limited? Possibly. So I'm open to give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's have a look. John Boost, they pinned these comments. Oh, so this is HVJ17. They pinned these comments to hide comments below. They are not active with backers. They are deceiving the backers. Again, that's a backer who said that. Okay. Hi JV17, we pin messages to keep everyone in the loop with the latest updates. It's a standard practice for highlighting important updates and information. We're committed to active communication and addressing issues that backers may have. But again, you know what, I've mentioned all this. Like HVJ says, I backed dozens of projects on Kickstarter. I didn't know it was possible to pin a message. And again, basically, these guys aren't using the system correctly. They should be putting updates in updates and leaving comments for comments. Maybe they don't understand that. There we go. So, yeah. Oh, Kaylee. Hello, Kaylee. To be honest, I'd rather see these announcements made as updates. 100% Kaylee, exactly that. Especially since a lot of these pinned messages are updates about production. Those get sent out to all current backers to ensure they see them. You don't need to pin the updates, blah, blah, blah. And then Brian Holt, which I won't go through. Brian Holt's decided to back out for, well, let's go through the reasons, see if we agree with them. 5 months ago, they launched a Kickstarter campaign, N-Cure, high-capacity cure machine, and they had an issue. Basically, it wouldn't cure. Someone called it a SHIT product, and they haven't solved the problem. They haven't solved the problem correctly in the last few months, and it's still broken. They claim to be OEM, but from their previous campaign, unfortunately, I don't believe they used to be an OEM, because as an OEM, they should have a good set of factory testing. I don't know that that's true. I mean, like, as an OEM, you get told to make parts, you make them to a specification, and then it's normally up to whoever produces the thing to do the testing. And yeah, so that's it. But hey, they've got manufacturing, they've got that skill, and yeah, we'll see who they brought in. Red flag for the UltraPrint Pro. I only saw a 16-inch prototype in the video, and it was not sent to any third party for review. Please prove that you have the capability to produce the UltraPrint Pro, as only the Apex Maker X1 is currently in production. I don't know, are they related, as only the Apex Maker X1 is currently in production? I don't understand why he said only the Apex Maker X1 in relation to this. Do you have a 16-inch screen, please? Oh, I think some other people had mentioned that the Apex Maker is the only one with this screen. But yeah, okay. Unreasonable 2-in-1. The print is a hastily synthesized system with post-curing. Yeah, that's my view with it. That's part of the Franken printer approach. It's the the Franken printer approach is very much a, it's yes, it's a lot of features, but it's not in a cohesive system. It's how much can we shove in this box and this space for as little money as possible. And if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. So yeah. Unusual shipping fee, I think that's a stretch. They gave an offer where you get free shipping for the first 24 hours. That's good. That's just that's an offer to drum things up. No real third-party reviews, agreed, other than Jerry, and you can clearly see, reading between the lines of what he went back to those guys with, you can clearly see that whoever the third-party marketing agency was, were trying to convince Jerry not to post his video, even though it wasn't really negative. It was fair. Like, it was a fair printer, and he said the print quality is great. It's just weird that these things are all separate systems. That's it. And it blew up. So yeah, unusual. And yeah, Jerry, you were a bit too dramatic about the explosion, but I would have been too. Sorry. If something blew up, my only regret is that I didn't catch it on video. I would have gone, it blew up, and I would have, sensationalized that. But again, most people who watch YouTube are intelligent. Most people who watch these videos are intelligent enough to ignore the bits that don't really matter to them and look at the meat of the video for any information they can glean. And again, if you don't agree that the heating controls being on the back is a problem, that the automatic resin pump that you have to press the buttons to run isn't a problem, if the having to, like, it's a cure station but having to put all the equipment in and connect it up every time you want to use it isn't a problem, go and buy the printer. If you want all those features in the way they've packaged it together, go and buy the printer. You just need to know, as Jerry's quite rightly pointed out, how those things work together. And they don't. They're all separate elements. But if you've got a limited space, and maybe all you need to do, this is one unit where you can print, dunk stuff in a, I keep doing that, dunk stuff in a pickle jar to wash it off as best you can and cure it in one space. It does it, yeah. Kaylee, I'm not going to go through yours. Obviously, we've talked about it, so mine's based on my perception. As I've said, it wasn't just from my first contact. And thank you for saying I've got good reasons to be wary, and that's it. I'm not saying don't buy it. I'm saying be wary. Okay, that's it. Just be wary. Stuff with the NCure, I read that, decided not to conflate the two, as most of the issues seem to stem from the design of assembly itself. Yeah, fair enough. Brian Holt, I'm guessing the UltraPrint sent out at least 5 printers. Guessing, assuming, yep. So what have we got so far? I'm going to have a check in a minute, see if there's any more. So we've got the print house. In fact, let's look at it. UltraPrint review. I think there's only one. God, I really cannot spell today. UltraPrint review. So weirdly, Honey Badger's non-review review is number 1 for review, which isn't a review. Honey Badger does an unboxing. Again, I'm not slating it. I'm not having a go at Honey Badger for doing that. Somebody, I read somewhere, I don't know if it was on Facebook or a response to me or in one of my comments on my last video or on the thing, but apparently, this is what I've read. Someone said that due to the issues with the printer, Honey Badger's decided not to do a review of the printer. That may be right, it may be wrong, I don't know. So it's obviously up to James, well, it's James in the video, but it's up to James and Mike. Is it James in the video? I forget which one's which. That's James, isn't it? Is that Mike? Let's go back. I need to start learning these people's names. It is James. Yeah, brilliant. Right, so yeah, as James has said, or as James is alleged to have said, based on something that I can't find and prove, again, it's an unboxing, there's no review. We've got Jerry's review, which is a good, balanced, in-depth analysis. And then we've got Steve Makes Everything, which again, I said, is not a bad video in any way, but it's not a review. This is an advert. This is UltraPrint 12K 3D printer, large, fast, and accurate 3D resin printing arrives. And he doesn't review it. He just talks through what it is. That's it. He just talks through the features that it has. He doesn't say whether they're good, they're bad necessarily, just he likes it. There's no comparison from what I've seen to anything else, just his experience with it, which again, I'm not knocking his video, I'm not knocking his content. He seems like an incredibly accomplished maker. He makes some toggle switches for some kind of electronics thing, well beyond my ability. All I can do is print pretty models sculpted by other people. So yeah. So that's it. And I don't think there are any more. No, the next one is the Saturn III Ultra, which, well, it's possibly the same printer anyway. Do we even know? Here's one. Kaylee, you're backing it, or may have been backing it. Do we even know whether it comes with ACF or PFA? Let me have a look at the campaign. Or is it both? That'd be good. ACF release film, water washable for the UltraPrint. Yeah, so it says ACF on a lot of the things. Is it always ACF? Or is that just an extra? Let me have a look. Is there any PFA? There's no PFA. NFEP. No FEP. So it looks like it's an ACF printer like the Saturn III Ultra. It comes with ACF, you can get a PFA add-on. Brilliant. Right, so that's it. I really just wanted to come on and do like an hour on kind of calming down from the last video. I'm not here to insult anyone who's had a go at my clickbaitiness. I know it is. Sorry, I hate doing it. You're right. I do clickbait thumbnails. People like my videos, that's good, but the only way I can get people to watch them is clickbaity. I've got an upcoming, as you all know, I've got an upcoming bamboo review. I can only talk about the name. It's the A1. I can't say anything else. I am going hard on clickbait with that video because I want people to watch my review. Of course I do. You know, whether they agree with me or not, fine. Like I've said, always get 3 opinions, at least 3 opinions. Watch at least 3 reviews. But I have a feeling I know what everybody's going to say about that printer. So I'm intentionally going to have a point to make looking at it from the opposite point of view. So at least then, no matter whose video you watch on this side, mine's ideally going to be the second review you watch. Right, let's jump into some comments and actually start interacting with the community. So, oh, blooming heck. Captain K's just commented, just a pointless question on what's the best $500 printer, because I've got a cousin who wants to get into printing and wants the best and easy to get into. I'm going to assume you mean resin. Captain K, I will assume you mean resin, and for that I would say Saturn III Ultra is the best at that price. If you can extend to a GK2, that's the next one. So there you go. Kaylee says, I'll admit I have no interest in the bamboo A1 stuff because I just don't care for bed slingers. Fair enough, Kaylee. If you've got no interest, then that's absolutely fine. I actually said in my review before I got the A1 Mini, I'm done with bed slingers, and I think that was the Creality K1, and the K1 taught me I am done with bed slingers because they give me such a headache. But in reflection of that, I then got the Bamboo A1 Mini, and I had more fun with the A1 Mini with the files on the printer than I've had with any other 3D printer, including Core XY printers with the whole internet available to me. So there we go. I'll admit, Stephen Clean, hi, in your Saturn III Ultra video, you had very good results. Even that, so you use an ACF. You were wondering if ACF is now good, or you just had luck with that piece of film. Any news about that? Yeah, sorry, I've said it in a few. I'm not going to make a whole new video about it. I am doing an ACF versus PFA video to follow up on it, but based on the feedback I've had alone, I think I just got lucky, and I'm assuming when they make ACF, like maybe it's weaker towards the end of the reel, But I've had other people echo my opinion and say, wow, ACF on this is good on the Saturn 3 Ultra. I don't have any film grain like you didn't. And then I've had people say, I've had film grain. So yeah. Captain K says, yeah, resin. And thanks, I've got a Saturn 2 8K. Honestly, Captain K, if you've got a Saturn 2 8K, you don't need to get a Saturn 3. Like, unless you really want to pay that much money for Wi-Fi, it isn't that much better. Like, there's because of the micron difference, I think you've got like a 28.5 microns down to, so you've got a 10 micron difference on the x-axis, but it's like a 5 micron difference on the y-axis. It's pointless. Ravi, Bamboo needs to do a resin printer. Oh, could you? Yeah. If nobody else figures out resin before that happens, I don't know if it's their thing, but yeah. Stephen Clean. Okay, thank you. No worries, Stephen. Hope that helps. Kaylee, I almost backed the Bamboo X1, but due to my horrid experience with previous Kickstarter printers that use proprietary parts, I didn't trust it. That was an oops since it turned out. Yeah, and this is the thing. I mean, you're always taking a risk, aren't you, with Kickstarters? And this was the whole point of this video. It wasn't a thingy. In fact, what I'm going to do is just, since we're talking, I'm going to put a video on in the background. Hopefully you can't hear that. Yeah, you can. Hopefully you can't hear that. Maybe you could, I don't know. I'm going to mute it, but then I'm going to, how do you turn on captions? Closed captions. There we go. So now you can watch, there you go. The Fohammer videos featuring the print house. And you can watch that while we're talking. No worries, Jerry. As you can see, if you're going to have to go, you can see that you're staying with us in spirit because we're now playing your video in the background. Just so we've got something happening. Captain K, have I heard of Peopoli Magneto X FDM printer with linear motors? Yes, it was at the Sanjay Mortar Rep Rap Festival, and they had an issue with it because of the power in the UK, and they couldn't get it working, unfortunately. But the guy, I didn't realise, so Peopoli, the guy who runs Peopoli, is also the guy who runs Saray Attack. Called Mark, and I've been talking to him for ages, and I actually got to meet him. But yeah, the Magneto was there. I was so desperate to see it, and yeah, I couldn't. It wasn't working, unfortunately. I haven't got an Athena yet. A Wild Tom appeared. I did see my first one again at the weekend. Same thing. I am speaking to Nico directly. I'm very impressed. Will it be a GK2 competitor? Potentially. But it's more expensive, so yeah, it's very prosumer. But I do like, they kind of gave me the elevator pitch, and I am impressed. Let's have a look. Kaylee Chambers. I know, yeah, it sounded too good to be believable. And when it launched, it wasn't what it was now. Like, they had teething issues, but now, like, they've delivered on their promises, and that's the thing. So yeah. You wouldn't have known. I get it. Like, I wouldn't have backed the X1 Carbon. And this is the thing. It's like we get so many. I'm at the point now where I'm skeptical of a lot of these things, like, until I'm proven right. I was skeptical about the GK2 when I first unboxed the GK2. I was like, because I'd just done the Frozen Mighty 8K, the M3 Premium, and the Saturn 3 Ultra. And I was like, why do I need another 10-inch 8K printer? And this one's bigger because it's 10.3 inch, and it's got worse microns at 29 as opposed to 28.5. And from the second I turn it on, I was like, ooh, this is good. But again, the UltraPrint, just look like, just the buttons themselves look janky. Like three similar coloured buttons that match the style of the unit with maybe some text above them would have looked so great. Instead, you've got a plasticky green, and they look wobbly and crap. And yeah, Print House, thank you so much. No worries, Jerry. You do good content. I'll fully support you. I'm jealous to a degree. I didn't get to review it, but I worry I would have been more critical than you. Maybe it would have surprised me. But everything you pointed out is exactly what I would have pointed out. Like, you know, the fact that you've got to control the heater from the back. What? Like, again, Frankenprinter. It's different things. The UI is taken from the X1. The build plate and the VATs from the Saturn 3. The back of the all these extras like the heater, the carbon. Like I'd be surprised if the carbon filter was even integrated. And the fact that you can put on a curing station just looks janky. Right, I'm gonna give it 5 minutes, guys. Then I'm gonna head off. So yeah. Kaylee, yep, his video was fine, critical where it needed, but also quite positive where it warranted. Yeah, Jerry, don't go and join the if you haven't already, don't go and join the Facebook group, because yeah, people have made comments in there that are non-productive to anyone and not helpful. You did a good job, and that's what people have recognized. You've done a very good review here. I'm jealous of your review because I wish I had done it. Let's have a look. His video is fuck. Chris, yep. Wild Tom, it's miles above the GK2, but yeah, way more expensive. They're working on kits though, so you can upgrade the crappy Chitu motherboards on the current printers and future even get force sensors for them. Who are upgrading them? I don't know what you mean about their upgrading. You can get force sensors for what? They're upgrading the Chitu boards on the current Athenas or on the GK2s. What? I'm confused. I don't know what you mean. In future, you'll get force sensors for them. Get force sensors for what? It's already got a force sensor. Mark Maguire, GK2 delivery times have gone long. I'm waiting on a tracking number. Yeah, we ruined it. We broke it on not on Black Friday weekend. I don't think they could stop the offer being on, but they said we don't have any left, even though they still took orders. So yeah. Sorry. Tony, I have a huge problem with incorrect language used in marketing material from Chinese companies. Language issues is a BS excuse. You pay a company to verify the English. Yeah, you do. And it's one of the biggest issues I've had on fohammer.com, where I paid a translations company to translate for me. And I remember doing this before. I used to work for a company that tracked trucks, and we were asked to do a French translation like rapidly. So we sent it to a company who used Google Translate. So as a vehicle that tracks trucks, we record things that happen on the vehicle. So where you are in the world, for example, and how much you're depressing the thing, what speed you're going at, how heavy your braking is, that sort of thing, to analyze the performance and how the vehicle's being driven. And we translated, I say we, the company who translated, I don't think I can even say this on YouTube. So there was excessive speeding violation, but in French, which went to a conference, the excessive speeding violation on the report was translated to hard, fast, and then some kind of, basically a sexual assault. So the R word, the 4-letter R word. So hard, fast, and then that word was excessive speeding violation. Yeah, that was so yeah. But yeah, you can do it. And the problem these companies have is they can hire English speakers, but they never hire professionals in this area. They never work with people who actually know the technology as a consultant. It's something I've struggled with. I work with a video editor. Now finally I've got a video editor that gets it, that understands it. I work with anybody out there who's got a YouTube channel who's looking to upgrade and really improve their things. It's not cheap, but I use an editing company called VidPros, and if you speak to them, tell them I sent you, you might be able to get a free trial, depending on the current size of your channel and how you approach. But the reason why I'm still with them is because they get it. Like, so many times I've been on Fiverr and I've been like, make me a logo or make a thumbnail that does this, and they put something together and you're like, you just don't get it. Like, I need you to just make it look good. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not an artist. You're an artist. You're a designer. Do what you've done, but make it look not shit. And these guys have the same problem. They'll go and you speak English, go and write me a really good campaign in English, and they do, but they don't get it. They don't understand the technology to explain it properly. So to a degree there is that. But now that this is running, they should have somebody there going, oh, these are the complaints we're getting on our community. We need to change this and we need to tweak that. So, right, okay, they're trying to make Athena boards for other printers. Interesting. They did. Let's have a look. Sorry, that was too. I'm just agreeing to people now. Bad Bones. Yeah, they did say if they were absolutely rammed with Black Friday orders and it was going to take a while. Really looking forward to mine arriving. Yeah, I still haven't had my payout for that month, which is why I'm getting a new camera for the channel, because I wanted one for a while. I'm running on a very old but very good camera, but I would like to upgrade and carve my own path in camera equipment with either, if anyone knows cameras, should I get an old C200 or should I get an old C70? Let me know. Mark Maguire says their customer service is second to none. They've kept in touch with me and giving me updates when they can. Sorry, who is that, Mark? Is that, oh, that we were talking Uniformation. Yeah, they're great. That's the reason why I'm standing behind Uniformation. You contact support and you get a guy called James. Everybody knows James. James King or Quing, Q-U-I-N-G. He's the guy you speak to always, no matter who you are. It's brilliant. What temperature in Celsius should you keep your chamber? 22. My Galaxy has a heated chamber. I don't want to melt my parts. I set my GK2 to 35 and just click print. And despite the bad things, the print house, the way you showed their response and such gave me some reassurance not to drop out just yet. Still, it might just depends if I can get form actual responses. You probably won't get that, Kaylee, just by the approach they've had up to this point. But no, I'm glad you haven't backed out. I'm glad you are still on the fence and thinking about it and haven't taken Jerry's video or my video to be negative on this printer. And thank you. Like, honestly, through this last few days and this kind of situation, you've been the voice of reason that's kept me sane. Because if I have reached people like you with a level head who is somebody reasonable, who can look at this content and go, these are opinions and this person is sharing a red flag and a view and this is just their 2 cents based on, I mean, this isn't an assumption, it's an inference based on my experience with numerous brands speaking numerous languages, mostly Chinese companies, with multiple printers, and these are things that concern me. And the concerns aren't anymore that this isn't real. I mean, Christ, there is still that risk that this may not come to fruition. I don't know, but there is still. I'm not worried that this isn't real. I'm worried that their advertising they have is setting people's expectations to such a degree that they're going to purchase something and receive disappointment. And I don't want people to buy printers and be disappointed in them. I want them to love their printers. There we go. Blake, take care. Have a good time at work, or the best you can. Nico told me it was designed to be compatible with Chitu boards. Athena started out like over 2 years ago. Operation Beat Chitu. We use similar connectors. Mark, yeah, Mia is great. Mia is fantastic. And I know I had a go at Crush back at the beginning of the video, but wasn't having a go. Just her English is not as good. Like Mia's is perfect, quite fluent, and Mia's lovely as well. One of the nicest people you can meet. She's in. If you watch The Real Sam Prentice, you can watch his video, and yeah, so you can watch his video. Got nothing else to play now. Let's just 1 second. I just want something happening on screen that will keep people visually interested. We'll stick. I met these guys at the weekend, or at least I walked past them and locked eyes with them. So I'm going to stick Honey Badger's video on just so you've got something to do. And I want to make sure closed captions on or off. I don't know which one means on. There we go. Yep. So that's on. And PCB Waste. I want sponsors. How is he getting sponsors? I want sponsors. Not like for videos. I don't want to be sponsored to do a printer review, but when I'm doing a printer review, I'd love to sponsor. I'd love to be paid by somebody else to talk about them for 30 seconds and actually get paid. Yeah, see you later, Jerry, now that your video's finished. Calls. See you later again, Ross, everyone, and everyone else. Thank you for all the kind words. Jerry, you're great, mate. Your channel's fantastic. You've got integrity. People like you need to be supported within this industry. Kayla, I understand that, Mark. I was referencing the Athena when I said I think they also utilize a Pi to run it. Yeah, okay. John, is the Sonic Mega 8KS the best bang for your buck for that size printer? It's good. No, I wouldn't say it's the best bang for your buck. It is a really high quality large format printer. If you're wanting the best built large format printer from a brand you can trust completely, it's Frozen. The best bang for your buck at that size, I'm about to tell people, is the Jupiter SE. And I've just got one more clip to add to that video so that I can, yeah, one more clip to add to that video so that I can, what's the word? Finish the editing, or get my editor to finish it. So, yeah. Kaylee, if I stay in the campaign and I do get it, I'll be sure to let you know my thoughts on it. I'd love to hear that, Kaylee. Part of me's thinking of backing it myself so I can get one and I can be honest about it. I'm not trying to be unfair to this printer. I'm telling you that these things, I'm telling not you, but generally people, I'm just saying that, look, these are things that raise concerns for me. So yeah, right, guys, I am going to head off and call it an evening. So thank you very much for listening to my musings and my follow-up rant on the printer. Again, it looks real. Some of the things they're doing is nice. It looks like they are communicating, despite a few people saying they're not. But I've just had a quick glance. That might be recent today. They've promised a 60-day trial that's not a trial. Like, it's more double speak and using the wrong words that, you know, just, they really need to just stop talking so much shit is my biggest problem with them. And if they'd come out and been straight from the get-go, this is what it is and that's what it is, I wouldn't have been making these videos, and I'd have been spending my Friday night playing Fortnite with my son, which at 8:30 I'm gonna have a quick game with him now, yeah. Or that, well, I'm a completely bad dad for ignoring my son all night when I promised him I'd play with him. So thanks, guys. Yeah, less marketing lingo, more real talk, and that's what you need from a Kickstarter campaign. Okay, do the marketing lingo later when you're established and you're fighting Elegoo and Anycubic for those top spots, but right now you need to come out of the gate and be straight with people. So again, check out Jerry's review. If you want to watch an unboxing, check out the guys at Honey Badger and check out Steve Makes Stuff for videos on this. But the point still stands. I am not saying don't back this printer. I am saying know what it is before you commit your money, and know in as much detail as you possibly can, because if it doesn't live up to what you expect it to, you're going to be very disappointed. Have a good weekend, everyone. Next week we've got a couple of videos coming out. One of them I can't talk, well, you know what it is, but no, I can't say that it's coming out next week because I don't know that it is coming out next week. So I've got one video coming out next week, maybe two, who knows. I want to stop talking now before I get kicked out of a certain club. Cheers, guys. Until next time. Farha.